Hey, how y'all doing today? Hey, today, this is a very special day. This is the introduction of Leon and John's, podcast. You can call it LJ's or whatever you want. But this is my co-host, John.
How y'all doing?
Well, wait, John is short for what, though?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, what's your last name,
Jonathan Roden. Y'all know me, Jonathan Roden.
Okay.
23 years in. We with the TCLC, the Learning Community Transitions Connection, to bring education to guys who were previously incarcerated, justice impacted guys, trying to help guys get their lives back on track through the education process. And that's what you're gonna see with this first season of Leon and John.
Man, well, my name is Leon. I'm Leon Benson. Unfortunately, I did 25 years in prison as well. But I've been a part of the ETC program, here at Wayne State University. And it's been a great ride for me, very informing. And I want to bring that to the public, to justice impacted people, and way beyond that, because common unity equals community. So if we can agree on things and really empathize with each other, we can really get things moving and be more inclusive. So, John, I want to ask you, you just been out a short time. How long have you been out?
I've been out 13 months. And in that 13 months, I've progressed immensely here at Wayne State. Wayne State has put me in a position to where I can pursue my dreams. I'm able to do some peer mentoring. I'm able to work with youth. I'm taking another training program where I'm learning how to deal with the K through 12 system and what they have going on to make sure that we're in compliance with all of that. We want to bring some of the high school kids along. My basic job is in student retention, a term that I really disagree with, but student retention.
Okay.
And what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that we get guys, we keep guys here, get guys educated, and get them on the right track wherever they are in their life. That's all we want to do here. We want to make sure that we're keeping our recidivism level at zero. None of us go back. None of us reoffend. None of us recommit. And we're trying to build on that. We want guys to get their credit straight. We want guys to get their finances straight. We want guys to get their education straight, get their life straight, and get back in the mix. We're looking for actual resources. We find actual resources, not things that you've been told about that don't work, not things that are pipe dreamed. We're talking about actual ironclad resources that you can utilize to progress your life. As you know, we got a guy in our program who came home and went to a homeless shelter, stayed in a homeless shelter for 4 months, and he now works for SATO. He has a state job. He hasn't been out 17 months yet. So the guys that we have in our program are guys that are actually doing positive things, and that's what we want to keep building on, guys that are doing positive things. We're going to get into this first interview, and we're going to figure out what we can do for this man and see what direction that we start getting this program running. We're bringing in new guys and building this out so that it survives, so that it's a good thing, and we build upon it.
Yeah, and that's a great thing. For a lot of people, when they talk about being free, they don't realize that your biggest ticket to freedom is your education.
It's your biggest ticket to freedom.
That's your biggest ticket to freedom, having the choice to think and having the resources, being resourceful enough to have this knowledge and use it. So, like myself, I'm here, I've been a participant of the program. I appreciate, your mentorship with the things that you was doing and been doing, here at Wayne State University and beyond. Thinking about education. So I want to put it to you first, John, before we introduce our special guest. And this is a special guest because we are an impacted community, and we know how it is being on the inside.
17 years. He did 17 years. It don't get no more special than that.
So for
decade
you,
and a half.
So for you, what was education like when you was in prison? Just something brief, just for our listeners.
So in prison, it's easy to build a thirst for education in prison because the system is set up to restrict your education access. It's to restrict information. It's to keep information from you. It's to seclude you from the public for the safety of the public. So what happens is you don't have education opportunities. So a person who's in an education state of mind, you thirst and you long and you want the opportunity to just pursue an education. So to me, when I was on the inside, it was law library. Spent all my time in the law library. times I was in a hole, it's pick up a book. It's pick up a book. It's figure out a way to make yourself better. While I was in prison in segregation is when I developed the time motivational concept. That's the immediate material environment. And I'll tell you more about that later on. But building that concept and internalizing that concept is really what made education at the forefront of my mind, because I understood that the things that I could do with my time on a practical level, on an everyday level, is learn. I can take in information and make myself a better person.
Let me ask you this, because for some of our viewers, they haven't had that carceral experience. You know, you and I, we have had that experience. So I want you to tell them, because you can speak for me, because I know you've been in these spaces. So we know that prisons are seen as intellectual deserts. Can you show the difference between, like, you know, a guy that's on the range reading the books, and then when a guy had a chance to get some higher education?
Okay, so when you talk about an intellectual desert, you're talking about, think about a desert. So it's not a place where people aren't capable. It's a place where there's no nutrients.
Right.
It's a place where there's no nurturing. There's nothing to feed you. There's nothing to water you. There's nothing to sustain you. That's what prison essentially is. So when you talk about a desert, yeah, the prison is a desert, but these people who are in the prison, these people aren't the desert. These people are people who need the sustenance that the desert's not providing. Mm-hmm. So when you talk about an intellectual desert, it's an intellectual desert in that this place isn't about to feed you anything. This place isn't about to provide you with anything. You have to go out and get these things on your own. And once you build that mentality of going out to get them on your own, and you get to transfer that mentality to here, a place where there's people that are going to be feeding and pouring into you. There's people who are going to be helping you, and you still have that same determination to strive. That's the difference. That's the biggest difference between a guy who's in prison, who's wanting to learn, getting out, and a person who's here in society, who's had all these, you know, benefits and amenities. Your determination should be different. Your determination, if you wanted education, your determination absolutely should be different, because like he said, prison is a desert. It's an intellectual desert. You've been starved for the last 17 years. You should want to eat mentally. You should want to build on yourself. You should want to nurture yourself. That's natural, and you should pursue those things. And we're giving guys an opportunity, guys who mean it. We're giving guys an opportunity to pursue those things. We're trying to support guys in those ways. And like I said, I really want to get into finding out what's going on with our first guest. About to watch us interview, find out what's going on with him, what direction he's trying to go in life. I want you to introduce yourself. What we're doing right now is we transitioning into the interview with a prospective student, prospective member of ETC.
My name Clarence Clark. I did 17 years. Mind you, I have to put this in there for something I didn't do.
Absolutely.
I'm from the west side, from Perryton.
PA?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I came here, like you said, determined to do something different, better myself, because it's been kind of hard for me, but I never gave up, you know. So being able to be in a room with people that's on a higher level than me, that's willing to help and pull me up, I'm willing to do that.
For sure. How long have you been home?
90 days.
90 days out. 90 days out, and you recognize that education is something that you need to be paying attention to. I mean, that's half the battle right there. But what do you feel like you're going to gain from an educational experience, be it the university experience, be it a trade? Tell me about your educational history so far and what you think you're going to gain, what you feel like there's to gain through the education process.
I got an associate's in general studies and liberal arts. They say knowledge is power.
Well, how did you do that in prison?
They gave us JCC.
Jackson College? I'm a Jackson College alum too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I helped start that program.
And this is for the Michigan MDOC?
Yeah.
For our viewers that don't know, Michigan MDOC.
Yeah,
That's
Michigan
great.
MDOC,
They brought that Pell Grant back, huh?
They brought it back for free.
That's big.
They have Moat College. It's another one. I can't remember exactly, but they have different programs now. Where that you could get associates. They even have a bachelor's program too.
A little known fact that the program that you're speaking of, the Jackson College program, that program was introduced in 2014 to the Michigan Department of Corrections. It was introduced as a pilot program through the Pathways from Prison to Education program, Vera Foundation and the Kellogg Foundation. And what ended up happening is it grew so much guys in Michigan wanted to pursue their education that they opened it up for pay your way students in 2015, 14 and 15. Yeah. So we paid our way, got down there, the enrollment got huge, and in 2015, the program went and obtained Pell Grants. So in 2015, Jackson College really received more Pell Grants than any other college in the nation by virtue of their student enrollment that was in prison. So what ended up happening is, this is the part that I wanted to get to, in 2019. So 2015, these guys come. 2017, 18, we got guys that are starting to graduate. These guys are going home. In 2019, Michigan's recidivism rate went down. In 2020, it went down again. In 21, it went down again. And in 22, it went down again. 4 years straight, the recidivism rate in Michigan went down. And this is directly correlated to the time when Michigan started offering prisoners education on a 2-year level. Our position has always been, if your recidivism rate went down right when these guys started getting out, then you have to relate it to the fact that you're offering education. Right. And because you relate it to that, now you have to expand these educational opportunities. We here at this program understand that. That's why we feel like this program is essential. It's essential to the success. It's essential to the next step of the evolution of letting or allowing justice impacted citizens to reclaim their lives. It's another fact on that is Michigan last year, they had the lowest recidivism rate that they've ever had, period. And this is on the heels of that program that you're talking about. So what we're doing here is we're taking that baton. We're taking that baton. We're going to get it low. We're going to keep it low, and we're looking at employment rates now. We're not looking at recidivism rates with guys going back. We're looking at employment rates of guys getting out and getting to it. Yeah. Those are the things that we're concentrating on, and that's what education is going to essentially bring to you. That's what it's going to give you. It's going to give you the opportunity to pursue those sorts of things.
So hearing that, and that's good data. You know, hey, I love John. He come with the data. He does his thing. You know, this is why we make such a good team. So the thing about, you know, reentry is belonging, having a sense of community. So far you only been home for 90 days. Man, that's a very short time. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of things coming at you. Could you tell, you know, some of our viewers, like 1 or 2 things that's been the most difficult for you coming home so far?
One of them is I have a problem with holding on to things. And a lot of people keep coming that I felt as though they should have been there for me. Hey, I miss you, I love you, and all that. And I just get away from, like, I have some things that I need to let go of. I know I need therapy for sure. I know I do.
Yeah, that's a tough thing, because in going through what I went through, I recognized coming out that was one of the things that I needed. I had animosities, I had worries, I had feelings, I had ideas, and I knew that there was things that I needed to tap into with myself. And I used to tell my family that all the time, like, y'all look at me like I'm normal, but I know it's things in me that got to be addressed. This is a real difficult situation I have to go through, and to have to go through it and then come home and figure out how to put it together on the fly and explain to somebody,
right?
Listen, y'all, there's other things at work inside of me that I have to come to terms with. It's animosities that I have to come to terms with. It's angers and frustrations that I have to come to terms with, all while putting my life together, all while trying to get on the right track. I understand that it's expected that I'm a man and I can stand up, but these things don't get addressed in prison. These things do not get addressed in prison on any level. And if I come out and I don't have an opportunity to address them, to look at them, to call them what they are, then I'm going to bump into these same things later on in life.
So everything you saying is right. The thing is us, making this common unity. Just as impacted people, we know these things, but we need to connect with people that's in the broader community. We need to connect with the people who have power, who have resources, right? An ounce of prevention is better than a ton of cure. If we can cure the wellness aspect of this, we won't have a lot of problems in our community. People want the same things. This man just got out of prison. He want a shelter. He want work. He want education. He want to belong like anybody else in the world. Yeah. And what ETC is doing is providing a platform for guys like us to come through where people understand. Who can better tell you about what's going on than people who are just as impacted? Just as impacted people are very, very, very unlikely, to do certain things that other people do because we got a level of empathy, a sympathy, and we understand certain struggles. So this thing right here with education is bringing a lot to the table with wellness.
Absolutely.
With wellness. Absolutely. Because if you got the education, now you got the strategy to overcome some of these things. And it's a lot of pitfalls. So if you will, first and foremost, man, thank you for being strong, man. That's strength right there, right?
For being strong.
That's strength right there, first and foremost. Us as men of color, men, period, this is something that you will bump into. We don't have these platforms where we can talk and be real. There's nothing wrong with that. And like you said, the thing, therapy is real. Here in the Detroit area, a big resource, Team Wellness. Team Wellness, man, is the only private wellness organization here in the state of Michigan that serves, man, the community and just as impacted folk, free of charge, you know what I mean? And you would get a therapist that'll call you each month. We kind of flexing on a little bit of time, but could you tell our listeners, some of the good things that you got going? We know you got them hurdles. You just 90 days in, right? We know this, and you just showing,
give us your outlook.
Your real stuff. Give us your outlook.
Give us your outlook. Give us what it is that you're trying to work on, the things that you see yourself putting together, the educational opportunities and goals that you had, and we're gonna figure out if in our network there's anybody that can reach in and effectuate some change. So give us a brief.
Well, I'm trying to prove my innocence for sure.
For sure.
That's one.
For sure.
I'm still fighting to do that. But in the meantime, between time, I would love to go here. I had a university experience. Going to Jackson Community College, it exposed me to stuff I didn't know I could do.
Absolutely.
Like probability and statistics and stuff of that.
Absolutely.
I looked at like I didn't know I could do that, but I know I can. I just have to believe in myself. Get a job. Continue to talk to y'all.
Listen, we here. This is what we do, man. We will be here next Wednesday, same place, same time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have next week, the week after next. We're gonna have the loan officer come down, talk to us about credit, how we get those sorts of things organized. We're here to support. We're here to support and to make sure that it's an upward trajectory. That's what it is with all of us. It's upward trajectory. Mm-hmm. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you coming. We got to get this space up because other people got to get in here. Okay. But like I said, we off and popping, man. We off and popping, man. I love it.
Hey, we off and popping. I like to tell the listeners, hey, if you tuning in with us, you tuning in with the right type of time, not that other type of time. Tune in next week.